I forget how to do this. There we go. Good evening, everybody. This is Leah Ryan and Loft Manage Richard from the Pioneer Professional Racing Pigeon League of Canada. Didn't think it was going to happen tonight. Maybe I'm bad juju. I don't know. We had a hard time. Ryan, I'm going to send it over to you. I'm going to check to make sure we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Take it away, Ryan.
Well, this is the greatest thing about the show. We were supposed to be on. We were supposed to be on at 8. We're now at 9:12. So we're festively. What is it? Would it be festively early versus festively late? What is this? I don't even know what this is.
We had technical problems.
Was it technical?
Yeah, technical.
It was pretty technical.
Yeah.
See, what a lot of you people don't realize is to get this all to work, there's a lot of moving parts. We've got multiple phones, iPhones, earbuds, microphones, someone in a total different country. We got someone coming off of COVID, and the weakest link, LMR. We got you. Ricky Seven's in the house with us tonight.
How do you do that again?
Yeah, no, you don't ever do that. It's not this, Ricky. This isn't Ricky Seven. Look, this is Ricky Seven. Right. There you go.
Ricky,
you know what?
I was looking at the results. It was Ricky.
That was it.
It was
just
like
Ricky.
boop, 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 boop. Ricky, Ricky. Boop, 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 boop. Ricky, 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 Ricky.
Okay.
Boop.
Hello to everybody.
You feel great. You feel great about yourself.
Okay. Let's keep the show on track here, seeing as we had the last hour trying to get online.
Hello, everyone. I hope the Halloween was a great Halloween. And, you know, there's an old saying, what happens when you take the insides out of a wiener? When you've got the wiener, what do you call that?
Guys, again, I told you.
You call it?
I don't know.
A hollow weenie.
That's great.
Take it away,
That's
Leah.
perfect.
Back to
Okay.
you.
Give a shout out to Michael Peebler. Owen
Halloween.
is in the house. Swoop Loop's in the house. Mike Sheridan. Hello, hello. Henry Ratter. Rhymes with Ladder. Nice to see you on, friend. Dan Gregor. Hello, hello. Neil Gonzalez. Mike Vandriak. Glad to hear Leah is back on the show. I am. I'm going to do my best here for you guys tonight. Troy Spencer's in the house. Hello, hello. Okay. Well, let's get this show on the road. Lots of things to cover tonight. And I think we're going to start off with our very patient guest, celebrity guest, who's been waiting in the wings. Brian,
Patiently.
do you want to introduce, or should I?
Leah, it's kind of like The Price is Right. You're the introducer, okay? You're Rotten Roddy. Come on down, you know. I'm what's his name? I'm Bob Barker.
Here, kind of.
Who do we got up first, Leah?
Well, we've been trying to do this for the last month since the race season's finished, but because of sickness and 5 million other things that have been going on, we haven't been able to do it. So we are very lucky this evening to have our very special guest. And to start off our awards for the 2021 Pioneer One Loft, we are going to give the award for the Cherry Approved Spirit Squad Pioneer Spirit Award winner for 2021. Introducing our winner, all the way from the United States of America. Here she is. Miss Tracy is in the house. Hello, Tracy. Can you hear us? There she is.
Wow.
Tracy,
this is amazing. Welcome.
Laryngitis, and she has some computer issues today, but she is on. Ryan, why don't you give a shout out to Tracy, and everybody give a big shout out to Tracy. Let's see if she can hear you. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, welcome, Tracy, to the Pioneer family. You're on tonight. Now, Tracy, is that you with it looks like a bald head there to the? Could you just wave to see which ones you are? Oh, is that you okay, there you are. And congratulations to win the Spirit Award. I will say, Tracy, through all season long, you had the most spirit. You were making signs for people. I was in Buffalo. I didn't tell anybody, and I was driving in Buffalo, and I seen a bus that went by, and one of Tracy's signs that said, "Go Zeus, go" or something. I seen it on the bus. And that's what Tracy, her power is, the cheering and great sportsmanship. And you always had fun all season. So congratulations for winning that award. I think you did a great job, and I hope you enjoy the show we put on. The Pioneer Village here.
I've had an absolute blast this past year. As a matter of fact, about a year ago, I was introduced to the sport by my dog trainer, Jeff, and I thought it was rather silly. And being my adventurous self, I decided to check it out. And here I am a year later, winning an amazing award. And I've had an absolute blast, and I look forward to a whole nother year of it.
Which that's the awesome thing about
very
this
nice.
whole story here with Tracy is Tracy wasn't even into pigeon racing before she joined the village or got interested in the village. You had never had pigeons before, right, Tracy?
I never even heard of pigeon racing.
And now look.
Very nice.
Now we've converted her. Look at it. She's still partying for Halloween.
Now, does Tracy have birds? You don't have birds yet, Tracy?
I do not.
So we got to get her hooked up.
Ricky,
with
when
some
you
birds.
ask her a question, you have to allow
Oh,
the person on the other end
time
a
lapse.
moment to get back. It's a time lapse, Ricky. It's okay. It's like, when E.T. phoned home, he went,
Yeah,
you have to let it
Oh,
come
okay,
back
okay.
and forth. Sorry, Ricky's not used to having guests on the show. But yeah, we're happy you want to come back for, what would this be now, Leah? Season 3 coming up?
Season 3. And we know that Tracy's already reserved some spots as well. She has been awarded for being the Pioneer Spirit Award winner. She is being awarded a free entry, and her choice of which loft she would like to put her free entry into, whether it is loft manager Richard or loft manager Ryan. And we're not going to ask Tracy that right now. We don't want to put her under any
How is
pressure.
What's wrong with you? Can't even do it, Ricky. Your own award, Ricky
There you go,
7.
yeah.
I have
She's
no
not
idea
gonna
what
pick
they're
your
trying
loft,
to
Ricky.
do.
What is Ricky 7 all about, Ryan? Please.
I'm not
Explain
telling
that to
anybody
me
what
again.
Ricky 7 means,
There.
but she's going to pick the loft that she wants to go in.
Yeah.
She's going to pick the loft. Don't be hurt if it's not yours, because I understand a lot of people want to come and fly with me.
So all I need is Tracy's address. I'll be sending her whatever flowers.
You're going to send her flowers? You're going to send her
Or
flowers?
chocolates.
Well,
whatever.
she's having a mixed drink right now, so
Well,
I would
vodka,
probably
orange
send her
juice.
a bottle.
I'm gonna send her 1 quart of orange juice, pure orange juice, Florida orange juice.
Florida orange juice. That's so nice of you, Ricky. So nice. So Tracy, question: what do you want to see next year? What's something you want to see for next year?
Well, first I want to make a comment about the perch. One of my perch entries I'm actually donating to Jeff Butterman's charity. It's the Freedom Guide Dogs, which help they help get seeing eye dogs to the blind and visually impaired. So any money that the bird in that perch wins will be going direct to Jeff Butterman's charity, or Swoop Loop, you might know him as.
Okay.
Oh, that
Very
is
nice.
awesome. That is a great way to give back, Tracy. Awesome job. I know Jeff from Swoop Loop. Again, he is a dog trainer for Freedom Guide Dogs. If you guys aren't familiar with Freedom Guide Dogs and what they do, we suggest you head on over to their website or Google it or talk to Jeff. They really do an incredible job of training seeing eye dogs for veterans all over North America. It really is a wonderful cause, and kudos to you, Tracy, for having your competitor fly for such an amazing cause. That is why you are our Pioneer Spirit Award winner for 2021, because you're always doing these great things. And we just want to thank you for your support of the Pigeons, your support of us and what we're doing. I know, this pigeon racing is up and down, it highs and lows, and I know there were some times there during the summer when we were at our lows, and you would put up a cheer sign, or you would, share something or make a nice comment, and I know it really did affect me and Ryan and Richard. It really got us out of some bad days there, and I want to just personally thank you for that. You're a great asset to the village, and you're a great asset to the team, and you're a great example for other people who come into this sport, who are new into this sport, of really what you should be doing, which is approaching it in a positive manner. And I want to thank you for that. Congratulations.
I would like to say that Tracy was what I call a real sport, good sport.
She was.
That's what I would say. And
that's how she won. That's how she won the award.
Yeah.
And you know what? She really good sport, and she outworked everyone, making cheer signs for so many different people. She didn't have to do it. She did it. And I hope next year there's somebody that knocks Tracy off the pedestal so we can get 2 Tracys. And then the year after we get 3 Tracys. Because you know what? I don't know if there's anybody that's going to be able to beat her next year. I don't know if anyone can rise to this woman's level. I haven't seen it so far. You know what? Let's see somebody out there show me wrong. I'm going to bet that Tracy's going to win it again next year.
I bet she will. Kelly, I'm just going to get to the comments here. Kelly Stone, Saturday was Tracy's birthday. Well, geez, there you go. Happy birthday, Tracy. We didn't even know that. We would have made you, Ryan would have made you a cake. Happy birthday to you. That is awesome. Troy Spencer wants to know, who is that guy sitting beside you? Tracy, who's that handsome fella sitting beside you?
This handsome fellow is Bucky.
Bucky.
With a B.
Bucky. It's Bucky.
And his drinking choice.
Oh,
See,
what's
he's
he
drinking too.
Oh, he's drinking too. What is it? I can't see. It's blurry. Jack?
That's Black Label.
That is, it's Belfour whiskey.
Oh,
Belfour whiskey.
Belfour whiskey.
Oh,
wow.
really? Belfour whiskey. We don't have any of that. Geez, we got to get some of that. Rita, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Belfour whiskey. Come on. Rita.
I know also Tracy has been, which Kelly Stone mentioned, been trying to get her coworkers and her husband and her family members and anybody else she can involved in the sport, and we also want to thank you for that. Hopefully, maybe this coming season, maybe your boss or maybe your business, your company that you work with, maybe they'll put a competitor in. You never know.
Yeah, and maybe we can get Tracy up.
You were what?
Yeah. Well, I would like to thank the entire Zonican family. Leah, you always take time to answer my questions. Elamar, you gave me a burn when I was down and out. Nancy, for allowing these shenanigans to happen in the first place. I'd like to thank McMoose, the Chihuahuas, the felines, and even the mice that made your village feel like home. And last but not least, our fearless leader, our village man. His name is Ryan, and nobody likes him.
That's right. Now you see, this is what takes Tracy to that level. She knows she fits right in perfectly. She remembered, and you want to know the type of determination she is. I said to her, this was before she was ever on our show. I said, you have to find the episode where the squirrel mounts Ricky. And within about 3 to 4 hours, we had about 400 shows. She went through all of them, and she found the moment where Ricky was mounted by the squirrel. I knew right then and there, Tracy is a Pioneer member for life.
Tracy was watching that, 2 years ago, I think?
No, she didn't even see it. I had to tell her about it. She got so excited. Now, what we're going to have to add to next year's village, we've already got a few things we've added. We're going to have to add some type of fishing pond in our yard for Tracy.
Well, we've got...
Absolutely.
We've got those kids' pools. And Tracy, you won't believe it. I got, some kids' pools out the back, just shoved in the back corner.
Right, kids'
with
pools.
Some wire over them.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of rainwater goes in there.
There's minnows in
and
there.
there's all kinds of stuff living in that.
Yeah.
Leaves and stuff and minnows, and frogs.
Yeah, I think
the
that would be
cats
great. I think
go
Tracy
down there and pull frogs
would
out.
really like that. Let's just move on. Tracy, we're hoping that this coming season you'll be able to come to the village and visit with Ryan and Loft Manager Richard and see the pigeons in person and sit on the McMoose. And hopefully this summer you'll be able to do that. And we look forward to having you at the village. Ryan, I know you do as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You're always welcome to come on down, and once those borders open, come on down and we'll have a good weekend. I don't know if we'll remember much of the weekend, but we're going to have a good one. And hopefully we have it on one of those training toss weekends where we lose some of the birds to really add to the festivities.
Well, we'd love to have you.
I look forward to it.
Tracy. We'd love to have you part of the village. We want to congratulate you on your winning the Spirit Award. You're a great sport, of course, and it was great for you to come on tonight, even though that you cannot speak and have laryngitis, and we had all those technical issues. I want to thank you for joining us. If anybody has any questions for Tracy, or I know there's a bunch of comments here giving shout out and a congratulations, which I'm sure Tracy will get to all the comments after the show and read all of your well wishes. But everybody's saying congratulations and well done to Tracy.
I've got a comment for the laryngitis, and I see Tracy's doing the right thing. Drinking orange juice, it's perfect for laryngitis.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
that's right. Good job, Ricky.
All right.
That was. Thanks for adding that in, Ricky. That was just right off the course, but you did a good job on that one. Keep it up. Back to you, Leah.
Oh, thanks. If anybody has any questions, let me know in the comments for Tracy. If not, we're going to let her get her jammies on and get comfy in bed and hopefully take care of that terrible laryngitis. Sounds horrible.
So
Brian,
what does she do when she runs out of orange juice?
Well, when she runs out of orange juice, I think she goes to more clear liquid, more like straight vodka. But I'm only assuming that. No, but okay. No, I don't have any other questions. We look forward to having Tracy back in season 3. Again, Tracy, I'm going to apologize for anything I say. Balfour Spirits again. Rita, I don't know where Eddie is, but if Eddie comes to participate, he comes down to the village. I'm going to give Eddie 5 free entries in for Balfour Spirits. I'll do that. Again, though, that is going to cost him some bottles, but that's okay. Getting back to it, I'm going to apologize for season 3. I may say a few things, put my foot in my mouth, or Leah might, or Loft Manager Richard might. Just stick with us. Again, sometimes when we're at the heat of the passion, we say things and we go, oops, probably shouldn't have said that, or it came out wrong. So I'm going to pre-apologize. Sorry. And I
really mean what I say. Right?
We do really mean what we say, but hey, sometimes we got to apologize and say, whoops. But just stick with us and keep cheering on. And let's see if somebody can knock Tracy off the wagon.
Like knocking me off the ladder? There's no way. We're too strong, Tracy. Nobody can knock us off the ladder.
Okay, we're going to sign off.
The other day I was coming down the ladder.
Congratulations, Tracy. We're going to sign off and let her get to bed, or she'll watch the rest of the show. Thanks so much for coming on. Congratulations. And we look forward to having you.
Thank you.
In 2022. I hope you get better. Bye. All right, Ryan. Oh, wrong camera. There we go. All right. Now we can hear you. Now we can hear you. There you are.
You can hear me. You can hear me.
Congratulations to Tracy. It was so great of her to be on. I know the camera quality wasn't the best and the audio wasn't the best, but she is a super sport. Guys, you know what to do if you have any pigeon questions or questions related to next year's races or next year's racing series or the band series. Whatever you want to talk about, you know what to do. Put your questions in the comments below. What are we going to move on to next, Ryan? What do you want to talk about?
Okay, I get into the band race. You did have those pictures I sent you. Are they on here or no?
Yeah, you want to talk about that first?
Yeah, I did. I have to word this the right way. I did some samples of banding with the money bands. You want to grab them, or I'll just grab one set of them right here.
So you took a youngster?
I took a youngster, a late bred here that we bred, and I'm going to show you how we banded them, how they have to be banded. There's a few ways you can do it.
There's 2 options.
Two options. They have to be one of 2 options. Anything else doesn't count. There you go. Oh, Leah, look at this. You've got it great. There's option number 1 right there, and you see the 2 bands on the bird. on the one leg, you see there is a Federation band. Now, this is this year's Federation band. I'm just using it because I don't have the 2022 rings out yet. But you see there's a 2021 ring and the Pioneer band on the one leg. So the only difference for this season coming is it's not going to have that Federation band on. It's going to have a 2022 Federation band instead of a 2021 Federation band. And you see the other leg is clear for your electronic chip, your benzene chip. That goes right there on that leg. That's one way to do it. That's option one.
Option two. Hopefully this is going to be option two.
That young one looks in good condition, Ryan.
Yeah, there's option two.
And there we have option two.
Yeah, and then electronic band goes above it.
Above it, that's right. And they all fit either way you got to do it. And those are the only two ways. If it comes with just a Pioneer ring on it, it's not going to be accepted. So
not accepted for
us,
for the money race.
For us,
money.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, can people put? Just going to ask you. Can people put two money bands on? Like, let's say a $50 on one leg and a $100 on the other.
No.
Just to know.
No, you can't. Right? No, and we wanted to do that just to keep it simple.
Okay.
It's just going to be real simple. Again, our bands are all different prices. Starting at, we have $3 rings, $5 rings, $10 rings, $20 rings, $50 rings, and $100 rings. So I've had people say to me, why did you give so many options? Isn't it great to have options?
Well, the world is full of options.
Right.
You know, when you go buy a car, you want air conditioning or not?
Options.
Yeah.
Why should I have two options when we can have 5, 10?
Well, that's right.
You know.
Now, I'll ask you a question just because I am a bit of a novice. Can you put that money band above the
Federation band? Federation band. You can put them any way you want.
Above or below?
Above or below.
Did you see the two options that we just showed you?
Yeah,
I've seen the one option where the money band was on the bottom. I'm just wondering if you could put that on the top.
You can do it either way because
I'm new to this.
Because these rings.
I just don't think we need to overly confuse things. There's option 1 and option 2.
Yeah, figure it out.
Okay, so you can put it above the Federation band or below.
Or below. Just get the damn band on. If you have a bird with both bands on, you're going to be fine. You show up with one band on, you're out. And we call that? Sorry, you're stupid and you didn't read the rules.
What I'm just saying, if I by accident thought and I put the band on top.
I got a feeling you're going to be one of those guys that's stupid and didn't read the rules. Because you seem like you're lost and you're running it.
I've only been in this country for a short time, okay?
Okay, and you're going to see these instructions on our website where you purchase the bands at FIPA.ca, the 2022 Pioneer memberships and bands. If you scroll down, you're going to see the two options right on the website. This is where you go to buy your bands and your memberships. That's where the instructions are.
Right there, black and white. And don't tell me it can't be done. Daddy's already done it.
Of course, reminder to band your youngsters between 7 and 10 days old for best results.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions about that?
100%.
If not, we'll move on to the next item.
I had some questions, but I don't want to ask them anymore.
Well, but what's your question? Go ahead, ask your question. You get one more question. Let's see if you can get us back on track. What's your question?
I forgot it.
Jesus. Oh, Jesus, Leah. It's a quiet crowd tonight.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so that's how you're banned. If anybody has questions, put in the comments. Next up is Hedgewig Heart Award, right?
Sure, let's do the old Hedgewig Heart Award. I got the bowl here, right here.
So the Hedgewig Heart Award, of course, reminder to everybody, that is awarded to the Pigeon of 2021 that showed the most amount of heart throughout the season. Now, we had a bunch of nominations that came through the wires, and to be honest, we couldn't decide who to pick because we thought they all deserved Hedgewig Heart Awards this year because it was a very tough year, which you guys already know. So we couldn't decide because we thought they all were all deserving. We had like, who were some names that people voted for? There was like Old Yeller, Aussie Gold was another nomination, Zeus was a nomination,
Rough Rider.
Rough Rider was another nomination. All very well deserving. As a matter of fact, anybody who finished this season, whether you finished or you didn't, or you made it halfway, or I mean, they're all very deserving. So, what did we decide we're going to do? Instead of picking, we are going to draw a name from everybody's nominations out of the bowl, and that is going to be the winner of this year's 2021 Hedgie Heart Award. Should we do the drum roll?
Go ahead.
You know I can never find the drum roll when I need it.
All right, Ricky 7. Since you look like a duck sitting on a tree stump,
Put it there.
grab one out, Ricardo. In you go. One, Ricky. One. Remember, guys, whoever wins this,
Do I have one?
yeah, I recommend you stick in the loft of Ricky, the famous 7. Put it in my hand, please.
There you go.
Okay, let it go, please. Okay, winner of the Hedgie Heart Award. Ricky, read her out.
Ken L.
Ken L. Ken Lavoie with the grizzle that hit everything and made it to 7 weeks of racing. Zeus is your winner. Kenny
Zeus
Lavoie, Leah.
is
Round of
the
applause.
winner of the 2021 Hedgie Heart Awards. Zeus earned his owner, Ken Lavoie, a free entry into the 2022 Pioneer One Loft in either Loft Manager Richard or Loft Manager Ryan's loft. Congratulations to Zeus.
Good job, Ken. Good
The
job.
bird kept coming.
You
kept coming.
know what? The bird, and I got to be honest, he wasn't a specimen pigeon. He was a heavy, bigger pigeon, deeper pigeon. He had a strong forearm. The bird started off, he didn't like to fly. Then he finally got his way, and he started flying. He got in good. Started training him, or loft flying. He'd come back, he hit something that his chest was broken into 400 million pieces, bruised under his leg. I said to myself, this one's never going to do it. Never going to do it. And I'll tell you, the bird made it all the way to Mont Laurier, race number 7. And I was amazed to see that the heart of the pigeon. And you know what? I still think one of these days, the birds are going to come back. I just think the bird, if he's not gone, he'll come back. He's Zeus.
And we have Ken in the house, who is the breeder, and he says, thank you. You're very welcome. You need to thank Zeus wherever he is out there. He did a damn good job for you, and he tried his best. And every season, we give away a Hedgie Heart Award. So for next season, again, the pigeon that shows the most amount of heart will win one. And the new thing that we've done now is the Spirit Award, and that will also be awarded every season for the participant or viewer or part of the Pioneer Villager who shows the most amount of spirit throughout the season, who promotes the sport in a positive, upbeat manner, is going to win that award. Congratulations to both of our winners. Awesome job.
Excellent. Excellent job.
Now we have one
Good
more
job.
draw. Do you want to do the last draw at the end of the show? That would be the draw for the early birders, the ones who have reserved perches already for our
Yeah.
the one loft. Okay. So we're going to do it at the end. At the end of this show, we're going to draw our final name, which is our early bird draw. For everybody who purchased perches already in either Loft Manager Richard or Loft Manager Ryan's loft, you are entered into a draw. We're going to draw a name, and you're going to win another free perch.
I just want to do a bit of an advertisement for LMR. Anybody a lot of people have said to me, LMR, we're so afraid when you're going up that ladder and we're putting the birds in your loft, we're afraid you're going to fall down and hurt you. First of all, I want to tell you folks, my wife has put the highest amount of life insurance on me, so I don't have to worry anymore, okay? Now, number 2, come in my $100 band loft. My loft is now only about a foot off the ground, and I have just one step.
Yeah.
That ensures you don't have to go to bed at night and worry whether or not LMR fell off the big ladder. Okay? So
Thanks.
bring your birds. Elomar will take care of it.
Take him into his loft. We haven't even come up with a name for him, but I think we should call his loft Ricky 7. That's all you'll have left at the end is Ricky 7.
No, I have a lot of people worried about me and all this stuff. You don't have to worry anymore. I got life insurance on me, 100%.
You're good.
Which I always, my wife will split that.
With you?
Perfect. Okay.
With
Do we want to
with the
do Loft
competitors.
Manager Richard's show and tell? You got something you want to show and tell?
Do you want to go get your little friends? One of your little friends that you got? Go ahead.
No, I think people last week, they wanted to see Plugger.
Plugger.
All right,
Okay,
go
get Plugger.
grab Plugger. Take your earbuds out. And guys, you're going to hear that Ricky's new magic walking shoes. You'll hear it as he leaves. Go ahead. Take the earbuds off. Take your earbuds off. All right, now guys, listen and enjoy what you're about to hear. This is the sounds of Ricky 7.
One year, once you're going to have a slow leg too, buddy.
All right.
Terry did too.
Going to make a liar.
Now we have to do the team challenge winners. I haven't added up the points. I was supposed to do that today and I forgot. I mean, clearly we know who won, but
Okay, I'm
we'll
going
save
to
that
get out of the
for
room
next
for a
Monday.
minute so you can talk about
We'll save the team challenges for next Monday because, guys, you want to know what? We got to keep you coming back to the show. This is the best show in town.
Oh yeah.
Well, what happened to the audience? What did they fall off the wagon here?
I'm not sure. Okay, what else did we want to talk about? This weekend, while Loft Manager Richard's getting his show and tell, this weekend at the Pioneer Village, which is now switching over to the Feathersley Pigeon Auction showroom, come on down and meet our good friends. And speaking of Spirit Awards, Pigeon Ambassador, Canadian Pigeon Ambassador Dave Ottaway will be at the Pioneer Village, also known as the Feathersley Pigeon Auction showroom, this Saturday. Breeder meet and greet. He's having a big clearance sale, our first auction of the season, which Ryan and I have been working feverishly at to try and get all done for this Saturday. Dave Ottaway will be in the house along with all of his lots, and when I say all of the lots, there are a lot of lots, a lot to pick from, a lot of high quality, a lot of great pedigrees. Dave's champions, Dave's super racers, Dave's super breeders, foundation breeders for sale. We've got Europeans that Dave has purchased over the last years that have done well breeding for him that are for sale. We invite you to come on down to the Feathersley showroom this Saturday from 1 to 5 to see all 70 some odd lots that are available from Dave Ottaway in his clearance sale, and meet Dave himself. If you've got questions about any of the lots, Dave's the man to go to. He will be in the house. A good reunion kind of, Ryan, for those of us who know Dave from many, many years ago and who've flown with him here in Ontario. Come on up to the village and meet Dave. It should be a fun weekend.
Yeah, it'll be lots of fun, lots of nice birds, lots of birds with great rich eyes. If you like blacks, boy, I think he's got about 20 blacks in there. And again, Dave's done well throughout the years. And I'm sure there's some real nice gems there that someone's going to get, and well, bang, you're going to get some good luck out of these birds. But come on down, handle them, go through them again. Cocks, there's hens, there's about just under 70 of them. So, hey, we did the eye sign, we've done the videos, done the handling. Birds are in good shape to go, ready to start the Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction season off. And again, you guys are going to notice first few weeks we're going to have some Canadians, and then we're going to switch into the Europeans. People have asked me, well, what's the lineup? Where's the lineup? Where's the lineup? Follow along, guys. It's all coming. Trust me.
Yep,
Super birds.
Starting Saturday onwards, from Saturday to March, we'll be having 2 to 3 auctions every single week. If you want to know who's up for auction, check our website, keepa.ca, where we will have all the dates and all the breeders listed as they start to get closer to their auction date. You just have to keep checking into our website. We will also be starting the promotion over on Feathersley Pigeon Auctions Facebook page. That's where all of our live shows, our breeder question and answers, our virtual open houses, that's where all auction-related items, our live shows, will be happening over there. So if you haven't, hit the subscribe button to our Feathersley Pigeon Auction over on Facebook. Like our page, subscribe to our page. Also, our YouTube channel, Feathersley Pigeon Auctions. That's where you're going to see all of our live shows, breeder question and answers, loft tours, lot information, etc., etc. Starting this weekend with Dave Ottaway.
Hey, by the way, 2 years of Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions on season 3 here of racing. Dutch Touch winner, bred from Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. Pioneer 1.5 race winners last year and this year. First, second, and third. All Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction birds. Salem Classic, down from a Zolt Pinter.
Oh, Zolt.
Feathers Elite
Wow.
auction bird. I talked to Zolt today.
How's he doing?
Again, I think it's Andre Gomez. I don't know, maybe I butchered the last name. He won some big money there at the Salem, down from a Zolt bird. The Oshawa Gold Band, Paul Tampiampis, Bingo Bango, Bob's Your Uncle, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction bird, down from the Elkmans. 83rd at the Hoosier, down from the Elkmans on the final race. Wallace Bielik walking away with almost $6,000. And at Go Champ Pigeons this year. Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. We're bringing you the pigeons from Europe that actually win. These aren't clearance pigeons from Europe. I say to them in Europe, I need your very best. Already 2 years of auctioning. I'm seeing the results hand over fist. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and it's going to come more and harder. Follow the bouncing ball.
3 years.
Just follow the bouncing ball. This is our 3rd year of auctions.
This is our 4th year. Sorry.
Our
this
4th
is our
year.
4th
Sorry.
year of auctions.
I'm so fired up. I can't remember what year we're on even. But I know one thing. Money winners, Leah. Isn't that what it's about at the end of the day? We find these one-lot races, money winners, open winners. Look at, I say it again. All the one-lot races in Ontario this year were won by Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction birds.
Michael Peevler, Saturday, will it be live? So the opening of the auction opens on Saturday. The auction will close online next Friday night. All of our Feathers Elite auctions will now close on Friday nights. They will all open on Saturdays, and they will all close on Friday nights, obviously at different time intervals. We like to call it Feathers Elite Fridays, where you guys can tune in to our auction site starting from like 7 o'clock Friday evening, and all of our auctions are going to close on one day now. Troy, Ryan, will you be taking your Smart Hub out of the loft and put it inside the house over the winter? That's a great question, Troy.
You know what? I'm going to leave mine outside because I want to see what Mother Nature's going to do with mine. I'm always testing these products to see how they work. What do I recommend to you, Troy? I recommend if it's your own, take it out. But I'm going to leave mine out. I want to see how it handles the conditions. Because, again, we work with Benzing, and I like to say, hey, I've left mine out all winter. You know, you took your clock out, but you left your Smart Hub up.
Oh, okay.
You left your Smart Hub up, but we brought the clock in.
Right.
So we're going to leave our Smart Hub, we're going to leave that outside just to see how it handles. I think it's going to be fine, but I would recommend to anyone, hey, bring them in.
Yeah. Frank Eichhorn says that he brought his in. Henry brought his in. We recommend you bring yours in. Ryan's going to leave it out just to see what happens to his, but if you do have one, just bring it inside, please. Soup Loop, our Eros Carboni did very well for us at the club level. Good job.
Thank you.
Peebler, you're not going to show any of the open house live? Yeah, we're going. If you sure we can do a little live broadcast from the open house. We will, Michael, be having our virtual open house where you guys can make your lot requests like we did last year. On Saturday evenings, we're going to do the virtual open house. Live on our Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. And you know that's where you guys get to request any of the lots to see up close and personal. We usually have a fun time on Saturday nights. It's a little more relaxed, so we will be continuing to do that on Saturday evenings over on our Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction Facebook page. Troy, I hear the Smart Hub have a thermometer control built in it. Yeah, I would just bring it in, Troy. Just don't press your luck because it does get very cold here, and I'm sure it does have a temperature thing, but is it set for Canadian climate? I don't know. I just wouldn't risk it. Okay, who you got there, Ryan?
All right, well, we got this I'll be honest with you.
This amazing bird.
This bird, I could have given this one the Hedgie Heart Award, but there we have right there. There's from Ricky's team. The legendary Plugger. We remember this bird.
What's the story on this bird, Ryan?
Do you want to tell the story, Ricky, on this bird, or do you want me to?
Wait.
Yeah.
Before you say the story of Plugger, Michael Peeler, only with Ryan. Dave Ottaway will be in the house on Saturday. He's going to obviously be at his open house. He will be there on Saturday night. We're going to see if we can get him to come on to our virtual open house. But we will be doing a breeder question and answer live with Dave.
Yes.
I'm not sure which day. I don't know if it's going to be Sunday or Monday. I'm not sure yet. We have to confirm with Dave what day he's going to do his breeder question and answer. But Dave Ottaway will be live with you also to answer all of your questions. And I'll, of course, post up what date and time that will be. But not to worry, Michael. We will have Dave live for you to ask whatever questions you have. Okay, back to Plugger. What's the story on Plugger? The condensed Coles Notes version. Go.
Quick version of Plugger.
Okay, Plugger is a daughter of a barn plug I had come in a year ago at the 279 mark, which is Englehart. It trapped in with my birds coming down, trapped right in. It's a cock bird. I like the bird. He's how would you like a barn plug? People would say, how do you like a barn plug? You know what? You guys are going to say, what did he do? Brought a barn plug in. I thought, guess what? In my life, I like to try this. I like the bird, beautiful wing. I've had guys here in the club and people from outside handle the bird when they come to the club. And they say, this pigeon is remarkable. The wing, the balance, that's the father of this bird. It's remarkable. I kept them tight vents. Everything's tight. Typical 100% barn plug. So I mated them up to a checker hen with a pearl eye, and just to see what would happen, I got a pair of youngsters. The cock bird in the nestmate to this one, the cock, he was super typical barn plug, tough, cooing, whatever, and I lost him before the races. I lost him training, so he's probably stuck somewhere living in a barn north of here. Who knows where he is? But this here hen, she's a hen, and you see she's got that, you know, that barn plug feist in your hand. So if you get a barn plug in and handle it, boy, it just wants to go like wild. She's got the eye of her father. She's got a real orange eye. And she flew all 9 races. The 9th race was the last Mount Laurier, sorry. And she didn't have a pioneer band on. And I said to Ryan, she flew 8 races already, and I hate to just, because I have a heart for this bird. I hate to put her in that last race with. She wouldn't be flying for any dollars or cents or nothing. Ryan said, you know what? Throw her in. Let's lose her. Bang, she came.
9 weeks. She flew all 9 weeks.
All 9 weeks.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And she's lost a lot of her muscle.
She's got no muscle. She's not the same pigeon I handled about 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Actually, believe it or not, if I went to a breeder's place and they hand me this pigeon, I mean, again, this is as if
she's going through heavy molt. She's been parked. Got a nice white wattle. You know, now I'm going.
But that's just the muscle you put on the bird.
Yeah, before.
Yeah. I mean, again, I laugh at you and say, you're Ricky 7. You had the best bird in the 4-race Pioneer Series. Right. But you want to know what I feel? You took now the flying condition off. That's how damn well you have these birds in condition. Yeah. Because this pigeon, when I handled it, I expected to handle a nice pigeon of what I thought the muscle. I remember this is just a shell of it, not the same pigeon.
Yeah, but in the winter time, I like to cut back on my feed and see that plug snap.
Yeah, she's got a good snap to her.
Yeah. How much feed she got in her crop right now?
About half.
She's about half cropped. So, but you know what? You got to give her. She's just a damn barn plug, eh?
There you go, Ricky.
Okay, we got a question
like some guy said.
Question from Mike Vanderyak. Any tips to speed the last couple of flights through the molts so they have a full wing for old bird racing?
Well, Mike, what do you think about that? What would you do, Mike? I know Mike's got some ideas. I know there's some guys, they pull the tails. Some guys, once the molt on these last couple feathers, those last 3 flights on this bird, you want them to come through. You see the color in these flights, Leah, those 3 there, these 3 sticking out?
Yeah.
See that they're not as dark as these ones?
Yeah.
Because these are old, they're sun bleached, right?
Right.
And we want these pigeons to finish these 3 flights, molt them all through. So I've heard some guys, what they do is they leave them right now in the natural light. And once the birds are done molting, if they don't molt these 3 flights, some people put the lights back on and then they'll kick through these to wake the molt back up. I've heard some people pull the tails, some people cut and pull. I've heard all kinds of things. Mike, what do you think the best thing to do is?
Frank Eichhorn says, Mike Vandriak, I did what John said today, so I will wait and see. Well, Frank Eichhorn, let's share with the rest of everybody. What did John say? Richard have to do that right this second?
When he does it like a damn bull in a china store. You'll hear him shuffle, don't worry.
Frank says, I pulled the tails today. My birds had still 4 to go, some 5. So when Frank says still had 4 to go, some 5, is he talking about, like on that bird, the last 3 flights? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, that's right. Those are the 3 flights. He still has some over here. Like that would be 5 flights to molt. If they haven't gone. This bird's molted up here. It's right to here. So that means it's got 3 to go. Now what's today? Today's November 1st. Let's see where this bird is on the natural light of Mother Nature. Let's see December 1st, where Plugger is, Leah. Okay, we're going to just leave him alone. We're not going to pull the tail. We're not going to mess with this pigeon at all. We're going to let it body molt. And I mean, the feathers on this thing, right? It just feels like a bag of feathers. I mean, look, she's molting. She's molting heavy. Look, I've handled her in a minute. We got feathers everywhere.
Take a look around her head.
Her head's molting.
She'll be so nice in about 3 weeks to a month from now.
But well, we will see. We're not going to pull the tails on them yet. We're not going to do nothing like that. Let's see how this one gets through by the 1st of December.
All I'm saying, that pigeon,
Yes,
beat a lot of high pedigreed pigeons. She's half plug, right, and half Van Riet.
Well, I always said, you're not a pigeon man until you can make crap fly. Congratulations. You made some crap fly. You know, it's easy to buy big dollar pigeons, and then you blame the pigeons. Take crap, make it fly. Then go out and buy pigeons.
She wasn't a winner, but she kept coming.
Hey, do you want to know what?
She was always there.
Pioneer Gold Band Series, about 70 lofts. Bought bands, only 8 lofts could finish just the 4 races. 8 lofts could only finish 4 races.
Out of how many lofts?
About 70 lofts.
Right. Okay.
You know what? You got to know how to play the instrument, don't you? And this bird did it all.
In most races, she was between the 10th or 15th bird home.
Yeah.
She was never the first. Never in the top 5. But
Mike Vandriak says that he has heard that buttermilk helps. What do you do with the buttermilk? That's sort of like just a random comment. For those of us that have no idea what you're talking about, how does buttermilk help with the molt? And what do you do with the buttermilk? Bathe them in it? Give it to them to drink? What are you doing with it?
Put it in the water. I don't know. I've never used it, but that's what they say. Buttermilk.
well, Mike's
Buttermilk, and I don't know how often you give it to them.
Well, maybe Mike.
Look at the vibration.
Elaborate on that. Frank Eichhorn's asking Los Angeles Richard, do you still have the father of Plugger?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I was offered.
The original.
Yeah, I was offered a month and a half ago. Believe it or not, $200 for that cock.
I know.
Yeah.
We had guys coming and saying, "There's no way that's a barn pigeon. There's no way."
Question for our audience: would you take in a plug and mate it to one of your stock birds and see what comes out of it and fly it a season? Would you do that? Let us know in the comments. Mike Vandriak says, "Okay, the buttermilk. You add it to the water. It speeds the molt according to the theory." Interesting. Are you going to try that, Mike? If you are, let us know what your results are. Anybody else? What are your tips or tricks with regards to speeding up a molt. And question, Ryan, why is it important to speed up the molt? Why are we doing that? Why are we concerned about getting rid of those last 3 or 4 or 5 flights? Why?
Well, if you're flying in old birds for the following year, if you're going to fly an old bird season, you want these flights you want them to get rid of the old ones and then with the new ones. So they have, because these flights, a whole season, they wear and tear. They get fragile. The new flight, you even see, look at how Mother Nature is. You see the new flights are darker, right? Darker, they're less worn, they're fresh.
The last flights come in a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then you allow that when they're a yearling or whatever, the new flights coming up as a yearling. You don't like to see a bird kicking up here as a yearling because they didn't kick.
Yes.
And then they kicked it back down here.
Yeah.
So basically they could fly with 2 flights left on the wing. Out of the wing.
And the other thing is, if you look at this bird's flights this year and look at them next year, they won't look like this. These are still baby flights.
Well, not these ones here.
No, these 3 here.
That's right.
These are baby flights, and you see they'll have a different shape
and
next year.
They are slightly shorter.
That's right.
The new ones come in a bit longer.
A little bit longer.
Look at the vibration in that bird. I can't believe it.
Can't wait. I only get to see him next time.
They want to see Plugger.
No, nobody wants to see Plugger.
And also, if you happen to buy this bird off me, I also supply a DNA.
Just blood off the ladder.
Okay, that's first Ricky's show and tell. All right, go get your second show and tell.
Look at your little white thing.
Oh.
Here, take your earbuds out first, Ricky. Baby steps, boy. Oh, you don't have your shoes.
says, up to now, I never worried about it. I have flown yearlings well on the 9th and 10th baby flights. The problem is they will sometimes double molt. If they do, I just stop them for the year. Double molt. What's that, Ryan?
So exactly what Ricky just said. They're molting there and they're molting down here.
That's right.
That means the bird's flying. Here's my hand, Leah.
2 flights short in his wing.
He's flying like this. Right? Missing flights. 1 flight gone. Flying this way. Full wing. This way.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Take your earbuds out, Ricky. I told you 3 times now, boy.
God, the vents are so tight in this thing.
I know you had. Did you want to talk about the vibration again? You want to talk about it?
Oops.
Yeah.
She just trapped in the chair.
Good job, Ricky. Oh, watch out. He hit the heater, Leah. He hit the heater.
Okay, guys, any questions about molts? Any questions about what we're all doing at this stage in the season? That's maybe a good question. What are we doing at this stage in the season, Ryan? What should people be doing? Or what are you guys doing to prepare? Are you preparing for breeding? Are you just taking it easy? You probably can't hear me, or he's having audio issues. So I'll ask you guys, the audience, what are you guys doing at the moment in your lots? Now that the racing's over, are you just like taking it easy, or are you preparing for breeding? And if you are preparing for breeding, what are you doing to prepare? Or what are you doing to prepare them for the upcoming winter season? Brian, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah. Kick me out, I'm back in.
So what should people be doing, or what are some common things that people do after the race season before breeding to get your birds ready for winter and for the breeding season? Go.
Well, I think the first thing is what people do is they just park them and walk away. They dump the feed in and they leave. That's what you don't want to do. You want to adjust the diet, right? Again, birds are molting. Give them something with some protein. Again, you don't want them gaining too much weight. Keep them hungry. Keep them at your toes. Keep them picking good, right at your feet. Keep them intelligent, alert. Keep giving them lots of baths, okay? And then if you're getting ready for breeding, you can start putting them together around the 25th of November. That means roughly in the next week or 2, you want to start putting the lights on, getting those birds, the breeders, up to the time. You know, if you're breeding this early, we're not going to do that. We're not going to breed till February. So what we're going to do is just keep them on a nice diet, not too fat, and keep giving them baths. We're not going to treat for nothing. Just leave them be. They all look good and healthy.
Brian, nice to see you on. He says, miss having your videos. Yeah, we've been quiet the last month or so because we're preparing for a very busy auction season. But don't worry, starting Saturday, you're going to see us a lot more, especially over on our Feathersly Pigeon Auction Facebook page and our YouTube channel with all the incredible birds that we're bringing in this season. Brian's question, what do you do the weeks before you pair them up for breeding?
What do I do the weeks before? Well, if, like I say, if you're going to breed early, you want to get the lights on. You want to make sure all your birds got their boxes, or all the cocks are in the section that they're going to be in, and
Make sure they're finished their molt.
yeah, get them through the molt. That's always a positive. You want them to be done the molt. Make sure the weight's right on them. You don't want heavy fat piggish pigeons for breeding. Never any good. A lot of grits, a lot of minerals, and if you are pairing them up and you want to put them on a medication program, get the medication through them. Get them on some probiotics after the medications. Go through them. Boost them up with vitamins, stuff like that. If you're doing that, now is your time. So if you're going to be, you want to pair up the 1st of January, you slowly start implementing a little bit of your medications. You want to give them a canker treatment, a cocci treatment, a respiratory treatment. Take your time and go through it, right? If you're going to use Baytril, if you're one of these guys that loves to use Baytril, use Baytril for 10 to 14 days, then hit them with probiotics for 10 to 14 days. Clean them right out. There you go.
And I would also vaccinate a month before you put them together.
Yeah, you can anytime now you want to vaccinate, go ahead, hit them with that. That's another good thing to do.
So just going to get to the comments here, what everybody else is doing at this stage in the game, at this stage of the season. Mike Vandiak says that he is cutting down on numbers to avoid overcrowding. Michael Peevler has a great suggestion and says, should be going over your notes for the year and figuring out next year the cycle of breeding. That's another great suggestion. Brian Mansker says 20 hours of lights. I'm assuming that's what he's got his in at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, 20. You know what? 20 hours is, I think, a little excessive. You can go 16 hours. I mean, as long as you're over really 12 hours of daylight, she's going to work. 14 hours of daylight, they feel like it's still summertime. I've heard some guys, they put the birds in 24 hours daylight. The pigeons don't know if it's light, if it's morning or noon. It doesn't work. You got to give them evening.
I'll tell you right now, with the daylight the way it is right now, and I cut back on the feed, right? They're not working. They're sitting in the loft. Cut the feed back. They don't mate. They don't mate anymore.
Brian's getting ready to mate.
He's getting ready to mate.
He's putting the lights
put
on.
the lights on. But how are his birds? Are his birds fat? Are his birds finished the molt? That's important. Because
he just wrote 20 hours of light his birds are on. I didn't ask him all those questions. Oh. Weren't you listening?
Dan Gregoric has a great point, and something that I know I remember hearing over and over again from the European breeders that we interviewed last year, especially Van Voren made a huge point of this, and Dan Gregoric says the same thing. This is one of the most important times of the year. Get them healthy through the molt, clean their system out. And I think that's what Ryan was trying to touch on at the beginning of this conversation. And I've heard it said before that this is actually the breeding time, the off season is actually more important than your racing season. You need to take care of those breeders even better than when you're racing them during the race season. And I think people think, oh, race season's over. They get kind of lazy. They get a little lax. They forget about them. Mm-hmm. But I've heard time and time again, and Dan brings up the point, this is the most important time of the year for your breeders is the off season, for your race team, for your loft.
Getting back to Gallo, Manny from Gallo Loft there in Spring Hill. I asked him when he's picking his babies for the one loft race, what do you do? They're all little babies. They can fly up to the perch and down. He hasn't let them out, walking on the floor. What do you do? What's the secret? I sit in my loft on my little pop crate. I drink 3 Corona beers every day, and I watch, and I pick up pigeons, and I pick up pigeons, and I watch, and I look, and I watch, and I look, and I watch, and I look, and I watch. And I find the ones that say something to me. But he says, you don't see that on day one. You don't see it on day. It takes a couple weeks of sitting there and observing your birds and saying, I'm going to send this here, this here, this here. the man is in the money. You want to do that with your breeders? Sit out in your loft, watch the cockbirds. Sit there for a half hour every night and watch the cockbirds. Let's look at them and say, why does that cockbird come out to you? I've never noticed this. Look how he acts. You go and sit with the hens. Oh, look how she acts. Look at this. Look at that. Have you ever put time into your breeders and sit there and analyze as you would do your race team? When you sit with your babies in racing or your old birds in racing, you sit and analyze and you study. That's another way of doing it. Put the time in. And again, what I said right at the very, very beginning. Don't walk in, dump the feed and water and walk out, because you know what? You're putting nothing in. You put nothing in now, your babies are going to be nothing.
I watch how my birds fly in the loft, how they come off the floor and go to their perch. Some of them, you see that weak wing. The other ones, strong wing. You understand what I'm saying?
You're looking for everything.
Yeah.
You're looking. This is a perfect time to study and analyze pigeons.
Yeah, and I also take my birds and I sit on, like you say, sit on the pop crate and I feed them by hand.
You know,
I watch who's coming to me by hand. Who's coming to me by hand.
Here's another thing. You're a new breeder. You're a new flyer.
Right.
You know, when I get these guys, oh, my birds don't eat peas. My birds don't eat peas. My birds don't eat wheat. My birds don't eat. Now's the time with your stock birds. Sit down in the loft, play. Today we're eating all peas, guys. Well, my birds have never eaten peas. I fed them, they didn't eat. We won't eat the peas. Take it away, give them a day, give them 2 days. Then go back in, haven't had feed in 2 days, give them peas. Watch them eat. Switch them to peanuts. Switch them to rice. Switch them around. Learn how to play with the pigeons. Learn to get them into the can and eating. Learn to feed them on the perches. Play with them. Experiment a little bit.
I thought you were going to do a video with me feeding my stock birds.
The bread, I'm going to do it, but we didn't have time this week.
Like, why is it they don't eat rye bread like they do white bread?
Dave Tracy has a question. How do you select your young birds? I started the season with 41 and ended the season with 34, but can't keep them all. So he actually asked, how do you cull your young birds? But I think he's saying, like, how do you make the selection? We're not going to get into it.
He started off with 34 and he's got 31 left.
Yeah.
And did he fly them all the races?
You gotta look. I think you got to look at how many races you flew. How was the season of races? Was it a tough season? Were you flying 1,000, 1,100s? Was it a fast season? Were you flying 1,700s? Whatever. And do you normally fly those races every year? The same style of races, the same speeds? Me personally, how many do you want to keep? Keep the very, very best ones, the ones that clock the most consistent, right up there. Your top, maybe two or three birds.
Results.
Your top 2 or 3 birds, and that's it. Again, we flew Pioneer 1 loft this year. We took 225 in. I only had 2 that actually completed 9 weeks. But they were all the big money winners. And then in the Pioneer Gold Band, those same birds carried over and waxed those guys as well. Again, big winners, right? Good birds. You will the basket will help you, and don't be afraid. The basket will not lie to you.
Believe it or not, I started with 160, and I ended up at the end. 14 went to the last race.
You got 11.
Ended up with 11 in the end.
Right.
And some guys will say, "Oh, he was cruel. He was bad. It wasn't fair." But you know what?
Nobody said that.
No.
Some people will say. Answered that they just finished the molts, and he also wants to know how to feed when they have babies.
How to feed when they have babies, I'm going to tell you, if you're around your house all day, if you work out of your home, I'm saying if you work out of your home, you can't feed them enough. Once they go down, once those eggs hatch, once the babies are there, I'm going to be honest with you. Get up, feed them at 6, a little bit of breakfast.
Between 6 and 8.
6 and 8, feed them the breakfast water. Go to the 11 o'clock, give them something completely different, another type of grain.
Walk in, yep.
Another 2-3 fiscals. Let them clean that up. Go back in at 2 o'clock.
Handle the young ones. See how they feel.
Yeah, go back at 2 o'clock again. Come with a different shot of feed. Again. And you'll see, you feed those birds 3-4 times a day in good increments there, not so there's feed laying around, so they cleaning it up. You will have plumpy, fat, beautiful youngsters. It's a lot better than leave-in feed.
Now, some people trough feed, and I think that's a good idea as well. The parents they know how much to take and
Yeah.
they feed. But I don't like to leave a trough feed in
Why?
because of mice and stuff.
And you know what else I don't like about trough
And
feeding?
the other thing too is they will flick out feed.
They will.
They will flick this and flick
And
that. And the other thing, it doesn't really train the young ones what we're eating.
Right.
You get me?
And what
So
he
in
means,
other words,
what he means by train is give them the taste of peas, give them the taste of rice, give them the taste of barley. Again, you're feeding youngsters, guys.
corn.
Your breeders, you should be feeding them. Yeah, feed them peas, feed them some pellets. Yeah, that's good. Kaffir corn, great. Make sure they get big, heavy reindeer corn. Make sure they get barley. You're going to say, why barley? Fantastic for breeding youngsters.
They got to learn.
They got to learn, and it's great for them. Barley's a super feed.
And
Reindeer
you
corn
said
is super
pellets.
feed.
Pellets, I think pellets is great. Pellets has a lot of high protein, like turkey grower pellets.
Yeah.
They've got material in there.
A little bit of medication in there.
Medication and stuff. I think that's pretty good. And remember, get them trained on that cat food. Whiskas cat food.
Hey,
I fed about three of it. Three bags this year.
Here's another thing, guys. I've watched him go out there and he feeds out in the Avery. It rains, it snows, he cleans off a spot. Sometimes the feed's soaked. You throw down 5-6 handfuls of feed. The birds eat it. They leave 2 fistfuls. He'll go back at 1 o'clock or 10 o'clock. You look, the feed's still there. You don't add no more feed. Everything gets cleaned up. Everything gets cleaned up. We don't leave peas because they don't like it. That word to me doesn't make sense. They don't like it. No, you're overfeeding.
I have people say to me, well, I buy that feed and they don't eat the peas. Or some people say they don't eat the little bit of wheat that's in that. That's a high quality feed. And they even put wheat in there. There's grass seed in there. They don't want to eat that. The guy says, well, I don't want that feed. They won't eat it. I say, right to his face, you don't know how to feed pigeons. Bottom line, you do not know how to feed pigeons. Boom. Back to you, Leah.
Mike Vandiak responding to how to call. He finds the birds that excelled at the last 300 plus mile young bird races make the best old bird races as a rule of thumb. Dan Gregoric says, I treat my breeders for canker and coxy worm, then a week or 2 of amoxicillin, vaccinate, then tea, and a week or 2 of Sadako probiotics. I probably said that wrong. Rita, how much time do you do this before putting the breeders together? Thanks. And my question to that is, Ryan, how come some people or some guys start breeding in now, it seems, or October or November, and you guys do it in February? Is that just personal preference? Is that because they're breeding maybe for one lot, or
say.
Why is that? How come some do it so early and others wait till I think you guys do February 14th, don't you? Valentine's Day around then?
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I would say that's the preference. The preference.
It's a
Yeah.
preference.
Now the one fellow there said he does. I think canker, coccidiosis, something else, and then he does amoxicillin. Well, amoxicillin is a what do you call it? Penicillin or
Yeah.
Why would you give amoxicillin to pigeons that aren't sick?
Well,
to me, I don't want to shoot a gun.
Amoxi is I would almost call amoxicillin a very light. I'd call it like Batril super light.
Well, that's like saying, come on into your doctor and he's going to give you a penicillin when you're not sick.
Yeah.
I think that's a total waste.
Again, everyone does it differently. You can treat them for what you want. I do say one thing, guys.
I think canker, coccidiosis.
Canker, coxy. Take a look how they're acting. No birds are wheezing, respiratory. Everything looks good like that. Okay. You don't have to overdo your breeders. And you go in there and you look at them. Look how they are. Listen for sneezing, coughing. I've had some guys that went to their places. Birds are coughing and hacking up. They don't even hear it.
But I mean, if a person, you're doing your birds and you find out, holy jumping, the droppings are just wet and everything's wet. Okay, so you got some problems, intestinal problems.
Then an amoxicillin's good.
Amoxicillin, that's when you need the amoxicillin. But why treat something for something that they don't even have?
Yeah.
I think you're just wasting your time.
Or, you know,
And I
actually,
don't-
you
I
know
don't
what?
think it's good for the
Maybe
birds.
maybe you're not wasting your time, but you know what you're doing? You're wasting the bird's immunity on it. But everyone's different. So you know what? It is what it is. People treat same thing. I know guys.
No, it's not.
No.
What it is.
It is no, but you're not going to change people. It's the same thing. You're going to get a whole bunch of guys, put them together November 25th. You're going to have babies. You're going to band them. The first day of January 1st, you're going to go to their loft. They're going to have old birds. By the time May the 1st comes, the birds go out on the board. They're as dumb can be. Because you know what? It's just, but they look good, don't they?
Well,
Then you see guys that take a round that they wean May the 1st, and they fly the doors off of everybody. So
I had
Okay,
a whack
so
of
you're
birds. I
so
put a,
okay.
this,
Wait a minute. So just to give a timeline, I know Rita was asking for a definitive kind of timeline. Dan Gregoric says that he starts the 1st of November to pair up, and then pair up. Oh wait, he starts the 1st of November, pair up the end of January. If your breeders are not healthy, your season will be poor. So he's concentrating on the health of the breeders before he even contemplates pairing them up. And I think that that is the strategy that you should take. You should be first and foremost making sure that those breeders are in 110% health before you start breeding them up and pairing them. But what you said, Ryan, about the early breeding and how then you ban them January 1st, and then by May, because they've had so much time to just sort of sit and loaf around in the loft, that when it comes time to go do something at the beginning of May, they don't know what to do.
Well, you know, in Belgium and in Holland, they're going to start putting them together here in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The birds will all get paired up. But the guys there can let the birds out and they can fly. Here, and I'm talking Canada, where we are. If you're in America, it's different. You're not California, different. Florida's different. These birds, you can't let them out because you're just blowing them away in the snow with the hawks. It's not pigeon raising weather. It's not, the birds don't go out. The birds can't fly. And I almost think you actually dumb the babies down a bit. I do believe it.
But the youngsters, when
they get dumb.
They're raised early.
They're raised early. They become dumb. They look great. They look tremendous.
It was amazing.
But you put them out on the board. I'm not done. You put them out on the board. You get anxious too. You put them out on the board in February. No, you wait all February, and about the middle of March, you get those nice days. You know those nice ones. You almost want to go out with a T-shirt on.
Oh yeah.
And it's beautiful. Nice, and you let out these babies that have went through their molt. Yeah. And they're cooing already. And you say to your wife or you say to your partner, I'm going to win this year. And you put them out on the board. They're big. They're fat. They get spooked up by the hawk. And you've raised 50 of them. And right there, Mr. Basket just knocked you down to 15.
One's going east, one's going west, south, and north. And it happened to me this year. I let my birds. Can you give me that now? Sorry. I got this visitor here.
Right. But we know what happened. It happened to you. It happens to everyone.
It happened to me. I had them all locked in there and all that business. And I put them out, believe it or not, I put them out the last week of April. And it was, that's usually safe around here. The buds were coming on the trees. Never seen a red tail. I've seen red tails come and hit. But red tail came through there like a 747 aircraft.
Listen,
and boy,
I was at a guy's place, good flyer, real good flyer. Mm-hmm. He had 120 in the Avery. Mm-hmm. He weaned them all the second, third week of January. Okay.
Yeah.
He let them out the last week of April. Right. He let out about 120 birds.
Yeah.
Babies. Mm-hmm. They were all old and strong. That night we sat there and watched them. After 2 days, he had 25 birds left. And you know what he got? You know what all the ones he had left were? His youngest.
The
youngest ones.
Well, we have a question from KS Loft Toronto over on YouTube asking, what is the treatment for sneezing and coughing pigeons? Now, before you guys answer that question, just want to give a disclaimer that Ryan or Richard, they are not veterinarians. They did not go to veterinary school, but they have had pigeons. Richard over 60 years, Ryan 40 years, and any advice that they give you is just advice based on their own experience. As Mike points out, antibiotics are not available in Canada without a vet prescription. You're 100% right, Mike Vandriak. Unfortunately, there's no such thing as a pigeon veterinarian in Canada. But on that note, Ryan, based on your experience, what is the treatment for sneezing and coughing for pigeons? Maybe we can help our friend KS Loft out.
Well, private message me afterwards, but if it was me, any type of coughing, sneezing, there's a nice little respiratory vaccine out there. It's real good. I like to do that. If I see a bird, I'll go in the loft. If I hear one bird sniffling, sneezing, you see it. Pull the bird out, give it a little Respovac in the neck. One shot, 0.2 in the back of the neck. The next 3 days, I'll hit them with yellow drops right in the mouth. A drop or two into the mouth, drop. The next day, drop. Normally, it clears it right out. That's if you have one bird. If you have your whole loft's doing it, you want to use a brohixamine, a Spiridox, a Tylenol, a respiratory product like that. And again, I recommend if you have that problem in your loft, maybe your ventilation's not good. Maybe you've got a cold spreading through.
That's what I was also going to say. You also need to take a look at your loft and your loft conditions and your loft situation as well. Because it goes hand in hand, right? Treatment for the pigeon, but if you're not making changes in your loft, if there needs to be a change made in the loft, then you can treat the pigeons as much as you want for respiratory. You got to fix the problem in the loft. Am I not right?
Yeah, if I can make a comment.
Yeah, quick, please.
I know 50 years ago, and I hate to say it, but if we ever got a bird that was sniffling or coughing, if I ever got one, I eliminated them from whatever. So now they invented these vaccines or whatever they invented. Now we got a lot of problems around with sniffling and coughing and all this stuff. It's almost like the snifflers, I don't know if you cure them, they never really come back. Because once they go in stress, they're done.
What he's trying to say with us, and this is again what we do, if we have a bird that's sniffling, most of the time it's eliminated.
That's right.
That's what we do.
That's
okay.
Yes,
we have the medications for it, but I've normally found our Miss San Diego's, the Seagull, the ones that have done it for us and bred the good ones and flown the good races, they never have a sick day. We just don't see it in them.
That's right.
And you know, even all the guys I went to visit, you never see that. They never talk about it. It's just
the respiratory.
So Rita has a question. If a bird is sneezing a lot, does that mean it always needs medication? So what if it's just like chronic respiratory? Like, okay, it's sneezing and then you treat it and it goes away, but then like 3 weeks later it starts sneezing again.
But wait, Leah, I'd have to say something, and I think you had a very good point there a couple minutes ago. It could be that your ventilation's not right in your loft. It could be that you've got overcrowding. It could be. So you're, what should I say is you're probably trying to put some people put 30 people in a minivan and let them sit there all day and night. Well, what's going to happen is somebody in that minivan is going to get sick with something. Right?
And I will say, people this time of year that are out there scraping their lofts, if you're a floor scraper, in my opinion, in our climate, you're not cleaning the floor ever. You're scraping shit around. What does that mean? Your lofts are always wet. Wet for pigeons, bad. Dry loft.
If you guys want to come in my loft and take a look, you might be a little bit upset because I never scrape my loft out. That's it. Period. Okay? Bottom line. Some people in the wintertime, they have a loft. What do? They got it 3 sides open. One side open, 3 sides closed. What do? They put plastic over the wire and they plastic it in. What are you doing? You're stopping the air. Hey, listen, a barn plug maybe goes in the top of a barn inside, but a plug, he sits on a window ledge, sits on a tree branch. He's getting constant, nice air, right?
And it's dry.
Dry air, very dry.
You will never,
and you'll see in a bridge, there'll be piles of droppings, piles,
and
they nest, but they're in the bridge, and the wind's blowing through, it's clean, fresh air.
And you know what you'll never see wild pigeons sitting in?
What?
They'll never sit in wetness. You never see it. You never sit in wetness. So you guys that scrape your lofts, you're not scraping. Like they say in Belgium, you're just pushing the shit around.
Well, you're just right.
Pushing the bacteria around.
Okay, Frank says that this was a bad year for respiratory. Guys are still battling it right now. I finally got my birds cleared, and he says his loft is not overcrowded, and his loft hasn't changed in the last 16 years, and got it bad this year. Question for you guys: do you find that after the race season that the birds go through, or they can go through, a change, and it can bring out respiratory or ailments in them? Because it's like the adrenaline, like they're not training anymore, they're not racing anymore, and it's like everything's kind of come to a halt. Do you find that more sickness comes out during this sort of transition from racing into breeding these couple months?
Well, I say in this time of the year, once we stop the racing, young birds, for example, they go through that molt. Once you stop training, racing, and it depends on how guys race and how they train. That's another thing. But once we stop and park them, they don't loft fly anymore, whatever, and they go through a molt. There's a stress there.
Yeah, and I'm going to take over on this one for one sec.
Go ahead.
You stop racing, it's done. Leave your birds in the young bird loft. Races are over. You're going to park them, okay? Leave them in their section. Leave them together, the cocks. Leave them together, the hens. Let them unwind, discharge, start to molt, go through the molt, start molt. Give them 6 weeks, get through it, molt, good. Let them calm down. Don't finish the race season. Pick them up, put them in their section, switch them all around. What do you do to them? You stress them out. You upset them. They just worked for you 8 or 9 weeks. Guess what? Give them a little bit of time to come down.
And the other thing is, if you have enough room and you can fly, let's say, a young bird team, when the races are over, leave them in that section, right?
If you can.
If you can. Leave them. Don't move them. Next year, fly them in that section as an old bird.
Most people here can't do that.
They can't do that.
They're not professional pigeon lofts here, that they don't do that here.
That's
do
right.
that in Europe.
But that
don't do it here.
avoids stress.
Right.
All that stress.
Well, there's reasons for everything that they do,
But
right?
that makes sense, though. That really does make sense.
Hey, you know,
Stress.
listen.
Let me ask you something.
Listen.
Let me
Hold
ask
on. I had a guy. He moved all of his birds. Put 15 pigeons. He moved them all over into another section. Already, since the races, it flew 8 weeks. 4 of them in the ground, dead.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. I talked to Eugene Stable. You know Huge, Leah?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Getting ready to send his auction birds. He says, Ryan, can't send them for you for a couple weeks. I go, why? Maybe a month. Why? They're just not finished their molt yet. I says to him jokingly, well, why don't, come on, just send them. Oh, no. I would never send pigeons that are molting heavy or, they're not 1 flight to go, 2 flights to go.
I feel strong about that as well. And the fellow there, DePaul, I was handling a bird that got champion points, whatever it was. He asked about 3 weeks ago to get his bird.
Yeah.
And I said I didn't want to send it because it was starting to fall apart through a molt. If we can look at other people with other types of birds. Some years ago, I had finches. And I went to a guy that had finches, nice finches, and I said, look, I need a cockbird. I said, I'll take that one right there. Give me this one. I'll take it. He said, you can't take it for another 3 weeks to a month. This guy was a real finch man. I said, yeah. I just said, why? He says, can't you see it's going through a molt? He said, I will not let you have that bird until the molt is finished.
Smart.
And it's the same with a pigeon, with anything, right?
But you
With any
hear
bird.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Stressful,
So you got to learn.
Stressful times for the young pigeons.
Very stressful.
Yeah, but that again, it boils down to common sense, and that absolutely makes common sense. I don't really see what the big rush is. You know how long the winter is in this country? Like literally
Well,
8 months. Like we have,
and-
well, at least the next 6 months ahead of us. There's
and-
no big rush to separate and get things going for breeding. Let the birds relax. Let the birds get into their own groove. I think that is your best case. But if you do
No,
find that
thanks.
after the race season that the birds are getting, that they were super healthy and then all of a sudden the racing stopped and the birds are getting sick, I think I just wanted to let everybody know that is not uncommon. And you shouldn't be panicking if that happens. It's not uncommon. It does happen, right?
Well,
you're going to pick things up.
I look at my birds that I have right now. There isn't any racing. They're in the loft. They're resting. They're not working. They have a little bit of room to fly. They have a nice room. I got an open fly pen there for the cocks. Very open. But they're not pumping young ones. They're not producing eggs. They're getting fed properly and not fed to be fat pigs. Okay? Because a fat pig can't be healthy.
Right.
Okay? And what was I going to say? If he shows signs of sickness at this time of the year, he's eliminated.
Yeah.
You understand? I watch these things. He shows signs at this time of the year, he's eliminated. Why should I treat him for this and for that? Come on, man, you're not working. I'm feeding you properly, weight-wise. I'm giving you fresh water. I'm giving you a nice place to stay, and you're going to be sick? I'm sorry.
You know, and it's funny you say
That's
that.
the way I say it.
It's funny you
okay?
said that. We've imported from some of the very best lofts throughout the world, but especially the Europeans. If we've ever had a problem with a bird,
Yeah, they can't.
I've never had a European say to me, watch this, give it Baytril, give it some ideal pills, do it this. You know what they say?
Elimination.
Elimination right away. I don't want that bird going out. I want the customer to get the very best. You know what? You got to say, have we had one say to us, treat, treat, treat? No.
Okay, talking about dry litter, I think we need to dedicate like an entire show to dry litter. Maybe Loft Manager Richard would let us go in and we could do a video and show what we mean by dry litter, because there's a method to doing it correctly. And I think that Loft Manager Richard, he's like the expert at it. He should do a show on it, because KS Loft Toronto's asking, how do you get the loft cleaned without scraping the droppings? He doesn't understand how that works. And Rita says, at some point, won't the birds be buried in crap if you never clean it? So I think we should do a show on dry litter and how it works and how to do it properly.
You know, it all depends on what type of person you are. You know, dry litter though, once you get into dry litter, I think it's the very best. And if you're not a dry litter guy, I think granules are super. But I think for scraping floors and pigeon lofts in Canada, it's to me, it's a big X. Big X. Don't do it. Don't believe in it. Would never do it. I can't clean the loft. I'm not one of the 7 Jansen brothers, the one that never stopped. All he did all day was go in and clean. And when he was done cleaning that section, he went to the next section. And then he went back around and clean all day long. You can't clean a loft properly. We don't have the climate for it. And dry litter or the granules, 2 things. 2 ways of doing it. I think it's the best. And for people putting them up on floor grates, that's great too. But the droppings that go underneath those floor grates, what is it? It's wet. Aroma, wetness. And what do we say? A wet loft is a non-healthy loft.
This is the magic question from Rita. What is dry litter? The short and
Dry litter
simplest way.
is okay. Pigeon droppings that are dry and
Okay,
you can smoke them. I'll tell you right now, you can smoke that
Rita,
dry litter.
Rita, two ways. You want to create dry litter? Go and get it for your loft right now. I don't know what's on your floor right now. Let's say you're scraping it every day. You either A, get granules and put down that much floor granules on the floor and leave it alone.
And just rake the lumps off.
Yeah.
Just with a rake.
And believe it or not,
so dry.
Believe it or not, you don't even barely have to do that. If you're cheaper than that and you say, I don't want to get the granules.
Cheap like me.
Cheap. Go out and get brick sand. Dry brick sand.
Dry brick sand.
Brick sand. Put it about that thick in your loft.
You won't even need that much.
Put that
Now,
much.
let me
Put this
interject
much.
here. Henry says that he tried brick sand this year and he said it works well.
That's right. You put an airspace. Where I learned this, my wife and I have been married now 50 years. If you want to send some flowers. But when we were first married, I used to scrape my loft out twice a day. In the morning, about 8 o'clock, and afternoon. And my wife Nancy, she said to me, all you're doing is going in that pigeon loft and scraping and scraping and scraping and scraping. This is getting a little ridiculous. And I thought, how am I going to, get rid of this problem with her? So then I heard someone told me get brick sand. I went and got brick sand. I put about like 1.5 inches, 2 inches of brick sand on that floor. Brick sand. The guys used to make bricks, easy to get. Not cheap. Clay sand, brick sand.
Brick sand.
And put that down. I am not lying, folks. I didn't clean that floor in that loft for about probably 40 years.
Now, what he means by, and yes, Rita, Rita, it started off this much, and as the pigeons shit on it, and the birds move through the loft, and you move your boots, and you walk through, and you're checking eggs, the loft, everything's constantly drying. It's dry. It's instantly. When they crap, it dries. And you can take a coffee cup and pour a cup of coffee right in the middle of the floor. The brick sand with the pigeon dropping, it just dries instantly. Now, when it starts this thick, after a year, it goes to this thick. 2 years, it goes to this thick. 3 years, it goes to this thick. 4 years, you're at this thick. Oh, you do.
No,
We're not talking cleaning. You just take it down back to this level again.
Or just take the lumps off with a garden rake.
Take it off, throw it on your lawn. You want to see grass green?
It's beautiful. I always, if I take any off, I throw it on my lawn
in the winter.
In the winter, in about February, I just pepper it on the lawn. Boy, that lawn is beautiful. I never put any weed feed on there or anything. But
so loft manager Richard has not. How many? You got 40 years worth of pigeon poop in your loft.
Well,
not really.
You know what? I hate to say it. In the Twisted Sister downstairs, I got a little upset about it because Ryan decided. He said, "Dad, you're going to clean this thing right back down to the plywood because we're going to do this and do that." So he ended up taking all that dry litter. I had about 1.5 feet in there, 2 feet, and take it down to the floor and ask Ryan what happened. We put birds in there. Within about 2 weeks, we had problems.
Yeah, we tried something different.
We had sickness.
We tried something different.
No sickness.
So maybe what we'll have to do is we'll have to shoot a video inside one of the sections, and we can show everybody what dry litter is. Maybe on the next show we'll do that.
Oh yeah, and remember, shavings
no.
is not. If someone tells you to put shavings in the floor of your loft, I might as well just say, call me up, and we'll get you some respiratory products, and you just keep giving it to them all year long, because shavings is poison.
And don't ask for, don't say, don't be calling me up next week and say, hey, Richard, I know you got 2 feet of dry litter in there. Can I buy a few baskets of it or bushels of it? No, it's not my dry litter is my dry litter.
It's created from your family of pigeons.
You make your own.
And you know, I'll tell you, the immunity in his loft. I can remember being a little kid. We'd go to the auctions and you'd buy a bird. You buy a bird from Mike Vanderyak at the auction. I remember as a little kid, you buy a bird, you bring it home, put it in that loft full of dry litter. And like Ricky would always say, it's going to take about 3-4 weeks, and we know if we have this bird. So, well, why? What do you mean? What do you mean? Because the loft immunity, the bird either lives or the bird dies. It can't take the immunity. It either takes it or it doesn't.
So we say no to shavings. Also, another no is no to kitty litter. Do not think that you're going to use kitty litter as a substitute for loft granules, or you're going to be in for a big surprise. It causes all kinds of problems.
Kitty litter is all like,
it's man-made.
Man-made
chemically
chemicals.
made. The granules that we sell from Versalaga, they're natural from volcanic ash. Okay? If you go and get the brick sand, it's natural brick sand.
Brick sand. That's right.
Natural. There's nothing added to it, right?
Right.
And that's it.
And again, with your brick sand, when breeding starts, if you add some straw to the loft, it goes on the floor, the birds, and that's just, you create, you know, the feathers go in the floor of the loft. It creates the loft's immunity.
Right, like
And
Wayne
the secret
Bodine
is
says,
dry.
it's nature's immunity. It's nature's way of building up your own little loft's immunity.
Loft's
Dominic
immunity.
Zarlinga says this is the first time that he's used the Versalaga loft granules, and he's not had a sick bird. Just like you said, Ryan, 2 to 3 inches of granules, and he said that they are the best. So we highly recommend the Versalaga granules for sure.
Whatever I'm going to say, you put those Versalaga granules in. Don't think, had it in a year or 8 months or 6 months or 3 months, 1 month. I got to clean this all out and put new granules in. No, leave it in, rake the lumps off, and if you want to add a half a bag to it, add a half a bag.
Yeah.
But just leave that in there, 100%.
Let it.
Yeah, and you'll have young ones. You won't believe it. Like it's barns, ridges.
The dovecots in Europe, what would they do? The pigeons would live in the dovecots and breed. They would eat the pigeons, right? But what was the key thing to the dovecots? When the dovecots got packed right full of the dry litter, they would take it and use it in the fields.
They take some of it out.
Take some of it out and use it in the fields for fertilizer.
Same as if you go in these silos or in these churches.
Yeah.
We know.
We recommend dry litter. Loft manager Richard recommends it. He's going to take us into his loft. You're going to see all about dry litter and how dry litter works and the proper way to do dry litter, because if you don't do it properly, you're going to end up with a whole lot of problems as well. So
I remember when I was 10 years old, Reed was in my class. He said, "Come on down."
We don't need this story. We don't need this story.
Okay,
wait, Dad. We don't need the story about Reed and the barn, and you went up and the barn was full of dry litter. But we don't need that.
We're gonna talk about dry litter on the next show. Let's get to the show and tell, and then we're gonna wrap the show up. Rita says, "But do you ever need to change the granules and start over fresh?" No, like Loft Manager Richard just said. You start with the bag, and then you just keep scraping and adding.
All you do is take like a garden rake, and just rake the lumps off. If you got any lumps, a little bit of lumps, rake them off. It's like sifting kitty litter. The cat craps. You got a little sifter thing. You shake it a bit, and all you got is the crap from the cat. You leave the rest of the litter in. Just scrape the lumps off, and then maybe once a year you'd get a bag of granules, if you're using that, and add it. But with my dry litter, I don't add anything.
And the great part is you can feed on the dry litter. You can feed on it. Feed right on top of it. You don't need a feeder. Throw your feed down on it. Perfect. If you're not putting oils and stuff, you want to put oils and stuff on your feed, use a feeder.
Yeah, then you got to use a feeder.
Use a feeder.
So, for question for Loft Manager Richard, for your loft, your Pioneer loft, what are you going to be doing for that loft? Granules?
I'm going to put granules down to start, but I'm not going to clean the loft.
So there you go. So
The only problem there is you get birds from other people's lofts, and that's a little bit on the hard side because you've got different cultures or whatever in this one place, and that's what a little bit different is. But I am not going to be scraping the floor. I'm not going to be putting on a picture for everybody. I'm not going to be doing that. I didn't do it with my birds. I never do it. I hate to do it. It's against the law in my place. That's it. Hey,
so you're going to see
come in my breeding loft, and I got what you showed the pictures last year. Yeah. I just scraped the lofts off. I took maybe 2 or 3 wheelbarrows of shit out of there just to make you feel good, right? And then scrape the rest. I had about 1.5 feet underneath.
Okay, easy there. Calm down there.
So you guys are going to see the real and raw loft manager Richard in this year's 2022 Pioneer One Loft, because he does things quite differently than Ryan. Who do you got there for show and tell? And then we're going to wrap the show up. Who do you got there?
Easy, Ricky. Just keep.
Okay, I've been sitting here for about half an hour or more with a special guest.
Here, use this one.
Use this one. I want to show you this little thing here has been sitting on my lap. I want to show you the droppings. 100% perfect.
There you go. Good.
And
okay.
We have to show that.
We went to Woodstock. I could feel it when he wanted to crap, so I let him crap in the napkin. We went to Woodstock, and I got suckered in to 4 of these.
Leah, go to my camera.
4 of these little silkies. This is a baby silky chicken. And I like silkies, and I think I said to Ryan, no, don't buy them for me, but he ended up buying for me. Really nice. Put it on the side there. You're gonna see, and they sit here. He's been sitting in my arm here for the last half an hour, just like a little kitten. Or put him on this, he'll feel more comfortable. There you go.
So you got what? 2 hens and 2. Are they called
really don't. I think this is a rooster. This one.
Oh, rooster.
They say that the headpiece, if it's full, and then he has a trail of feathers down the back, he's going to be a rooster. The hens don't have the trail; they have a big headpiece. But
they're real nice, these guys.
Oh no! Don't do that. You got to fluff them, man. Fluff them. That's it.
So the newest additions to the Pioneer Village, we have 4 of these little guys.
Which by May we'll have 24, and then by August we'll have 64.
Yeah.
That's what we need. KS Loft says, thanks for these tips, very helpful. I have been scraping every week for a while now, and birds are still getting sick. I will try the granules and the root sand. Okay, well, let us know how it goes, or come on up. You're in Toronto, come on up to Stouffville to the showroom, and Ryan and Loft Manager Richard will talk you through it, show you the granules, and show you with dry litter if you're in the area. Come on up. We're always here to help.
I think scraping your pigeon loft, and a lot of people say, I scrape this much 3 times a day. It's everything's so clean. Everything I clean. That's only for your neighbors. That's it. Yeah, your neighbors. I told my neighbor I clean it out 3 times a day. When the bylaw officer comes over, I tell him 3 times a day, come on in, take a look. That's not for the pigeons. That's for your neighbor. Or for people that want to watch. Ooh, he doesn't clean. He's a bad man. You know what? I know more than you.
So they're asking what the names are. I thought we were going to call.
We don't have any names yet.
Laverne and Shirley and Lenny and Squiggy.
Well,
and they're so, believe it or not, they're so tame. They're only almost like dogs. This little thing was sitting in my arm all this time, and they like to huddle. They don't like perching. They like to huddle.
They're burrowers.
How old?
They sit on the. This one here is I don't know, about 5 weeks old.
And you know what's neat about them? Look at the color of the skin.
Oh, wow.
Black.
Interesting. So that other camera crapped out. We're gonna wrap this up. That was Ricky's show and tell. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Plugger and the newest additions, the
And they got
silkies.
feather legs. I'm putting these guys outside now, and the nice sunny days in
Super
a
cute.
little fly pen.
Super cute.
They're very cute. Feather legs.
We'll check back in a month and see how big they are. Michael Peebler, silkies have black skin and very dark meat. Tracy wants to know if we can race those. Ryan, what do you think?
Listen.
They're good. They're very good for what you call like quarter-mile running. A quarter mile is like a 500 kilometers for young birds. They do a quarter mile.
Hey, whatever it is, it is.
Super cute little chirp to it. Anyway, we're going to wrap the show up. Fun family show this evening. Thanks, everybody, for your participation and all your questions and comments. Thank you to our special guest and our Pioneer Spirit Award winner, Tracy.
Wait.
Oh, what are we doing? Oh, the draw. Okay, we have to use that camera. Sorry, the other one crapped out. What are we drawing for? We're drawing for early bird draw. Somebody in that bowl, whoever has already bought perches, your name has gone in that bowl, and you are entered into a draw for early bird for a free perch in the loft of your picking.
Go ahead, Ricky. Grab the name.
Wait, I'm gonna do the
And
drum roll. Hold on.
There you go.
okay, grab the name.
We got only one.
Yeah, you got one in your hand.
Okay.
Get rid of me.
There you go.
Squiggy's going to announce the winner.
All right, Squiggy, here we go.
The winner of the early bird draw and a free perch is Mike S. Mike Sheridan. He's probably asleep now, but you are the winner. You get a free perch into the 2022 Pioneer One Loft. You need a loft manager Richard or loft manager Ryan's loft. Congratulations. Next week we're going to do the team challenge winners, and I'm going to go through the points. I didn't add them up, sorry. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up, reminding everybody to join us on Saturday live at the Feathersleep Pigeon Auction showroom, also known as the Pioneer Village.
And this little bird here.
We're wrapping it up.
Yeah, I'm just wrapping up, Dad.
All
Where
right.
you're going to be able to meet Dave Ottaway and see all of his lots in the clearance sale. We invite you to join us. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have the hot dog roller going, the popcorn machine going, Dave Ottaway, and 70 plus amazing lots from South Shore Loft, kicking off our auction season number 4. Away we go. I'm going to sign off from the village. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Not the village, wherever I am, my house. Brian, you
All right.
wrap it up.
I'm going to wrap it up. Tune in next week's family show, 8 o'clock next Monday night. We're going to be pretty close to on schedule. We have a special guest coming into the studio. Even Ricky doesn't know about it, but we're going to be 3 of us in the studio. Can't tell you who. Super Flyer. Tune in next week. Have your racing questions ready. He's a good flyer. He's a band handler for the Pioneer season. He's going to be a handler this coming season. All right, Leah, auction season starting. It was nice talking to you guys. Keep your lofts dry. That's all I got to say. Thanks for flying with us, guys. Bye for now.
Have
Good
a
night, guys.
Bye.